Namaste, Scorpio, Moon, Sun, and Rising. This is your Libra Moon reading. I was guided to do each and every sign, give them their own Libra full moon reading. And so this one is yours. We're going to get started right away so that I can keep them mini, hopefully, beginning with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. You're going to have 5 cards. This is the first of those. Six of Pentacles in general is one of my favorite cards. It is about generosity, unconditional love, just very, very pure giving of oneself. It's also about balance, justice, equality, equity, the number 6 in general. All those things are connected to the number of 6. It's like you give of yourself because you just want to give, or you're receiving from people and they don't want anything back from you. And it can be very, very literal. It can be in terms of like grants and scholarships and things that you're given, a lot of which may be going on now because of what's happening around the world. There are people donating to different funds to try to reach out and help others in one way or another. So that may be why this is showing up for you. Maybe you will be the recipient, but actually with it in reverse like this, it's saying that there's probably an area of your life in which you could stand to be a little bit more generous than maybe you realize or that you have been recently. And you could be saying, well, like I don't have any money either necessarily. And the idea is, even if you even if you feel like you don't have much, that there is, it does tend to be somebody that has less than you, and or something that you're able to give. If it's not money, some other, thing or aspect of yourself, that, your time. Time is super, super valuable. Volunteering somewhere. That would be giving an offering. In relationships, this card shows up because it's very important that we are able to both give and receive. A lot of us do pretty well with the giving part in terms of relationships. I give and I give and I give. And what do I give back? Nothing, because you're not good at receiving. And that's just not me talking at other people. I'm talking about myself included, right? We all have to work on that. This ability to receive and to trust that sometimes, at least, and you got to use your intuition, or your wisdom, or whatever you have at hand to decide which time is which. But sometimes people are giving to us because they genuinely want to give to us, and or they genuinely love us, right? They genuinely care for us, so they genuinely want to share something with us. Not everybody, has some sort of agenda, and maybe the way that our lives have gone, it just has seemed that everybody does, or we're just very protective of ourselves, our hearts, our lives. We put up walls. This card shows up to say, maybe you need to lower it a little bit and welcome some things in. I wasn't going to mention the card that's behind it, but, something celebratory could be happening. Somebody could be hearing from or getting in touch with people, from their past. Like this is a card of reuniting. It's a card of being social, even though you have to involve social distancing with what you do these days. There are ways to still be social. We can do things online, or we can meet people out or have them at our homes, as long as we're, following the guidelines and being as safe as we possibly can. Same thing with like sex, right? There's safe sex, and then there's risky sex. That's the world we live in now. So you can still have fun. You can still be celebratory. You can still, get your groove on or whatever it is, even under current circumstances. All right. So Scorpio, your next card, your second card, but the card that's most going to represent you and your energy over the next 2 weeks, taking you into the new moon energy, is very nice, the Two of Wands. And this is also a card that can be about balance, like your overall energy of the Six of Pentacles. Balance, very much about relationships, as the Six of Pentacles is for me too. Again, like I said, it's about unconditional love. And when I say that, I mean like unconditional love. You're walking down the street and somebody has a sign up, some kid is trying to raise money or something. Like whether you believe what the cause is or not, taking a moment to stop and to say something to them, or to give them a donation or whatever it is, and not want anything. You keep on your way after that. That's a moment of unconditional love with a stranger. Right? Even with strangers, we can have this. So this card is more so about, it's a little bit more intimate. it doesn't have to be romantic relationships. It could be friendships, familial relationships, even business relationships, but it does tend to be about partnership and balances in our partnership. And as far as, divine unions go, sacred unions, twin flame relationships, the Two of Wands is the soulmate or twin flame card of the tarot. So this could be showing up with some particular significance for some of you in terms of your romantic relationships going forward, or maybe beginning now over the next 2 weeks, growing and moving forward, because it's very positive. It's not negative. It's definitely not about something backward. Although, like I said, the Three of Cups, maybe that's why I was made to mention that. Three of Cups can be about reuniting with somebody. So maybe you haven't seen this soulmate. Maybe it's somebody that you know, but you haven't seen them in a while. And you'll get to reconnect somehow, whether it's texting or online, or, maybe you bump into them in the chat room or a dating site or something. They come back into your life somehow. So that's your first card. It really shows up to remind us of the give and take necessary for relationships, which is, again, something else the Six of Pentacles also speaks to. And it can be about things being out of balance, maybe one person carrying a heavier load with respect to a given relationship than the other. In work, it's about you doing things in like new and maybe out of the box or unusual ways. Your work getting a lot easier, smoother for you, but it's going untraditionally, right? Things are not really happening the way that they usually do, which makes sense if you're anywhere in the world right now. A lot of us are doing our work online, whereas we didn't before, or we're in new jobs. Some of us are out of work recently because of what's happening, and maybe, trying to figure out what our next steps are. If you are looking for employment, this is a positive card for you. It's about finding the right fit, right? Something where this is where I'm balanced. This is where it works for me. My energy is good here. This place is good for me. So it's like you and this employment opportunity fitting together like a puzzle, yeah, I think you get it. Just way more balanced and, just feeling like the right fit and size that you could have perhaps imagined. So like that could be a positive thing, a positive side to maybe some of what you're otherwise experiencing with what's going on. If you're in a romantic relationship, it can get a lot more equal, the same way I talked about, again, with the Six of Pentacles. Your overall energy is tying in very well with this, because both are about like equality and equity and just, mutual respect and things like that. So if you have like ideas, share them, with your partner, and welcome them to share their ideas and things with you, to be more open maybe than you guys had been before. This is about bettering your communication. If you're single and looking for love, somebody who is a very good fit for you, like the job, could very easily be coming into your life, and maybe somebody you know already, again, who's coming back into your life, some sort of reunion, maybe an actual like soulmate or, twin flame relationship. Also, perhaps not your usual type. And it's important to, like that old saying, that cliche, don't judge a book by its cover. And I'm not saying that to suggest the person's going to be ugly or anything, but, maybe just not your typical type or norm. Maybe, older or younger, or different race, or different religion, or religion at all, and you're an atheist, whatever. You guys get the idea. If somebody's like particularly interested in you and you have it anywhere in them, like any kind of inkling where of an interest in them, definitely give it a shot, despite what might come to mind, in a 3D sense, as far as like what doesn't work or what is not usual for you, work, relationships, very out of the box with the combination that you've gotten so far. So the energy that'll be surrounding you for the most part could be close friends, family, co-workers, something going down at the job. It could be your own energy too. Your romantic interest and your partner over the next 2 weeks is the Queen of Swords. she is a Libra, maybe, right? Or a Gemini like myself, or an Aquarius. Actually, the ruler of Libra is the planet Venus. She is also the esoteric ruler of the sign of Gemini, and she's currently located there. So those two energies coming together, Libra and Gemini, very Queen of Swords. That may be why she's showing up. She could be tied to the moon, right? She's very intrinsically connected to the moon. More importantly, when she shows up, she's very no nonsense. If this is your energy, for example, like, she's not to be played with, she's not to be tried. She's very serious, right? But like in positive ways, like she just gets stuff done. She's not playing around. And if this is you, it's like your intuition, your instincts, the way you're going about things, it's serving you very, very well right now. So keep it up. Be mindful of other people's boundaries if you're able to while you're doing that, because that can be something like she's not intrusive about other people's boundaries. She just doesn't necessarily consider them, think about them even. And, you know, sometimes she can come off as cold, stoic, abrasive. You know, people can be sensitive to her energy, her demeanor, like, you know, take it the wrong way, that she's insensitive to other people and stuff. So you may want to watch that. Some of us don't have a choice. We are the Queen of Swords in our real life. In terms of work, you gotta be careful about overreacting to what appears to be disrespect. I'm going to say what appears to be disrespect, what is perceived to be disrespect. It looks, maybe even feels like you've been slighted or something, but like there's an explanation. So just be careful, you know, before you pop off. Let's try to figure out what happened, if possible. If you're looking for work, you're in a very good position right now to present yourself in a very, you know, fabulous light and be hired by somebody. There could be women, actual females in your life that could help you. Either they're in a position to, you know, maybe even help you to get hired, whether that's by helping you to redo your resume, or it's because they work at the place where you can get the job. Or they just have they have the wits about them. This is an intelligent person, a smart person who can give you good advice and guide you the right way to let you know how to pursue what it is you'd like to pursue. In terms of love, there's only one thing that you have to be warned about when the Queen of Swords shows up. And that's the same thing that I was just talking about a minute ago, in the general sense that she can be abrasive, right? She can be pushy, she can be impulsive. And so sometimes that comes across as too forceful, and we can, you know, accidentally push people away. So you just want to be mindful of how you're coming across, perhaps. Queen of Swords in your love sector can also mean that there is a mother or mother figure, maybe a mother-in-law, somebody that is interfering in your relationship. That's not to say she's doing it in a malicious way. You know, she may not even mean to be, but again, it's this sort of very in your face kind of person. So you and or your mate, you know, depending upon whose mother it is, perhaps may want to, you know, figure out if boundaries need to be set. And if so, you know, talk to her about it, like, honestly. There also could be a very strong woman, and this could be tied to the work thing for some of you, in terms of your finances, that is particularly significant right now. She will play some sort of important role in your financial life somehow. And there's a lot that you can learn from her. So it's not like, you know, she's going to play a role by, I don't know, somehow putting you in a bad position. It's a positive thing. That wasn't your work card, though. This is your work card. It is the King of Cups. Okay, wait a minute. So I do have placements for these cards, but I have to say, with the Two of Wands and the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups all showing up upright, I have been talking about relationships, romantic relationships between water and air and fire and earth for probably like 2 months now, like just going on about it. So I can't help but notice this, like it's standing out to me like a sore thumb that we have the Queen of Swords and the King of Cups, just like, you know, envisioned it, the true Two of Wands, the true divine couple, sitting here with the Two of Wands. So some of you, definitely some relationships that you had going on. Again, maybe there were differences that you just couldn't get past before because, you know, you're too traditional otherwise. But this is sort of out of the box. We are transcending. That's going to be the theme for your reading, transcendence. We are transcending beyond those things that used to hold us back. Rise up, honor your inner force. Steps are being given. Dance with the universe. It's like, just take a chance. Just do it. Just dance. And right behind that is Lady Nada and Heart Awakening. So some of you going through a literal heart awakening, heart expansion, where you're being open to try new things in your relationships, and maybe with specifically with regard to love, and to just take a chance. It doesn't matter if, you know, one has more money than the other. These are some of the things that pop up that people talk to me about. One is older, one is younger. Again, different relationships, different religions, different races, all these things. Like, who cares? Give and receive in balance. Isn't that crazy that that's your card when you also had the Six of Pentacles and the Two of Wands? So this is your theme again. It's transcendence, and it's this theme of balance. But your actual card in terms of love, I'm sorry, I didn't do your work. I didn't do your work. So I already said a woman could be particularly involved in your finances in a positive way, or even guide you in the right position toward a job. The King of Cups in your work can say that there's a man, you know, a male that is, if he's your boss, if you have a male boss, he's really like team you, or you know, he's really like on your team, or you guys are genuinely on the same team. Like, if you ever question that, you know, how he feels about you and stuff like that, he is there to help you to succeed and to further yourself. If you are wondering how other people in general feel about you at your job or in your job, whether it's your customers, your clientele, however that works in your life, know that you are appreciated and respected in your job, and people just, it's like more than you know or you could imagine. People are very, very thankful for you. Maybe you're doing one of these essential, you know, jobs right now. You're a grocery store worker, a fast food worker, a fireman, a policeman, a nurse, a doctor, you know, some other hospital or a healthcare worker or something, sanitation, whatever it is. You know, you guys are the heroes right now, right? Or you should be recognized by that. So just know that I recognize you as that, and there are other people that recognize you as that you're coming into contact with in your daily life as part of your work. Whatever that, you know, whatever work means for you. And things will likely continue to get better for you at your job just when he shows up. He's a very positive card. And the King of Cups, speaking of this theme of balance that you guys have, the King of Cups is all about balanced masculine and feminine energy, and just being like, you know, just being able to be in touch with one's feelings without being too, you know, wishy-washy and watery, or too stoic and standoffish. It's like just like really, really in check and in touch with your feelings and able to handle them, and all of that. You know, it's just a well-balanced person, often an actual male. When the court cards show up, they often represent actual people in your life, and one type of person versus another, even down to like the color of hair and stuff. Like in the card, for example, the Queen of Swords, she has light colored hair, but in real life, she tends to be, you know, in traditional tarot, she tends to be a dark-haired person, dark-haired and or dark eyes. So your actual finances may or may not be, wonderful. Like I said, the job is going wonderful and all that, but your actual finances may or may not. I mean, they could be good for some of you. And for others of you, there may be something that, you need to look into. The idea when he shows up in terms of finances is that it's time to like face whatever your finances are. So if you haven't been looking at them, you haven't been keeping account of like your checkbook, and you have no idea what's in there, or if your bills are paid and all that kind of stuff, like it's time to get that together when you have that. In terms of love for you guys, I couldn't have chosen better cards like to go together myself. Seriously, it's the Hierophant in reverse, which is another card that is very, very relationship. Major Arcana card 5, very, very relationship oriented, very, very soulmate oriented and twin flame for me. These 2 keys at the bottom. It's like the key holders and all of that. You got like a built-in 11 in the card. Yeah, very, very twin flame. Or sacred union, divine being, ascended being for me. And in reverse, it's about breaking with tradition. The same way, so many of the other messages came through. Like just whatever was a hang up for you, it's causing you to be inhibited before, just let it go and go for what you want in your relationships. This is the time. So if you've been considering, should I call this person? It's been a while. We broke up over that stupid thing, or we never got together because of that difference or whatever. Yeah, it is, if you're feeling that in your heart to do that, it is definitely a good time for you to go for it. And the only thing similar to the Queen of Swords to be mindful of is that this card is tied to tradition, so we don't want to push too hard. But other than that, go for it. The Hierophant may or may not be a Taurus that is particularly significant in your life. Taurus also ruled by the planet Venus. So Taurus, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Soulmate relationships. Further to that, for the masculine archetype watching out there, from Oracle message to you from Archangel Michael, you can do it. And it's another one of these swords. So it's like you can go for it. Again, just like we were just talking about, just go for what you're feeling to do in your heart and your soul. From the Keepers of the Light Oracle to you, Kali Ma, facing fear. Even this one fits perfectly. Like if you had some sort of fear, again, some sort of inhibition, something was holding you back, something was keeping you from doing what you really wanted to do in your heart of hearts and in your soul. And now you're just throwing that caution to the wind. You're not afraid anymore. You're stepping out in front of that fear. Major spiritual changes are unfolding, and this is your chance to soar. Just like I just said there. This is your chance to go for it. Feminine archetype from who? St. Francis. He says, follow your heart. So you got a very similar card. Go for it. And from the Keepers of the Light, Kuan Yin, care and compassion. Choose to be love. Do what is right for everyone involved and offer a helping hand. So this one ties everything together. It's about you being generous. It's about you leading with your heart. You just being and exuding love in all things that you do. I will also point out that the card, the overall energy this here, Transcendence, that is your theme, pictures Lord Shiva, the destroyer, on it. And a moon, right? A crescent moon up here. And this is perfect because he comes in, he just knocks everything down, all those structures, all those walls that were up in front of us, preventing us from living. He knocks them all down. He rebuilds them so much more beautiful. So it ties in very, very nicely with the full moon and endings that have to happen for you, just so that death, that death has to happen, just so that new life and new beginnings can happen for you as well. Let Lord Shiva build you a new structure. Hope you guys have enjoyed your reading, and I'll be back for one thing or another. Check out your sun, moon, rising reading as appropriate. Namaste.